Roll call.
Mayor Connie Ball,
Present.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit,
Present.
Alderman Jeff Fancher,
Present.
Alderman Roger Gribble,
Present.
Alderman Mike Hansel,
Present.
Alderman Bobby Knight,
Present.
City Attorney Terry Hurst,
Present.
City Administrator James Fincham.
Present.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to say that some of the council members and other city employees are involved in Scott's funeral service this evening, and I'm moving some of the items around a little bit on the agenda to make sure we take care of business as much as we can before we have to leave. Okay, item 3 on your agenda is the approval of the minutes. Item A is the regular session, July the 14th, 2015. Do we have a motion to approve as written?
Make a motion to approve.
Have a second? Any other discussion or questions? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item B is in need of approval of the special call meeting July the 28th, 2015. Need a motion for that, please.
I make the motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions or changes? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item 4, Employee of the Month.
Mayor Chief Reagan has that this month.
Okay.
Mayor, I'll be as quick as I can because I do know everybody wants to get to Coach McClure's funeral. I got just a couple things. The person we chose for Employee of the Month, it's really, really difficult for the fire department to do that because most of the time we do everything as a team. But Matthew just started, Matthew Woody, in February. You guys hired him. And he has got to a level as far as the fire service faster than anybody that we're aware of ever has in our department. He passed his firefighter 1 and his firefighter 2 certifications with the state faster than he got off probation. His probation's 6 months, so our firefighters, when they're paid, they start at $8 an hour. As they progress up to their maximum, which is $9.58, as they progress to that, they have to pass certain tests. Well, he passed those tests way before he got to his top out amount at the end of his probation. So that's one thing we're real proud of Matthew about. He did fall into some good fortune in that the state made some changes in how fast you can test. So that helped him out. But my point is, he is really enthusiastic. He really, really wants to do this service with his life. Y'all know him. Most people know him. It's more than just fighting fire. I mean, he's off duty and we're running him away at car wrecks because, Matthew, move over there. You're in the way. No, not really. He's not in the way. But we're real proud of him, and it is an honor to be able to present Matthew the Employee of the Month for July.
Mayor, one thing I will add to that, I went to his graduation up in Johnson City at the Fire Academy, and he excelled in the academy and was recognized up there as doing an outstanding job. So he's represented the city well.
Do we need to do a budget amendment for a bigger helmet?
Well, it's possible. I don't know.
Cost my hair.
You're swelling. Good job.
Randy, before you sit down, there was some solid word that there was one of your fire guys checking into a job with a neighboring city that offered a whole lot more money in the whole 9 yards. And I heard the response of that person that said, you feel like you got a good thing going with these 5 men plus the mayor right now, and he's going to stick around and see this thing out. So I think you know what I'm talking about, and I haven't told that person yet to his face, but you know who I'm talking about. Tell him I said thank you.
Okay, let me before I sit down, I got one more thing, because and this is very, very deserving part of what you're talking about. Jason Woodson Didn't know, it happened that Jason and Woody are on the same shift. And firemen showed up and everybody's like, what's the fire department here for? Well, Mike knew, but the rest, most of them didn't. Jason's on the same shift. Jason's last day with our department will be next Monday. He came, it's hard. Jason has an opportunity, and he's taken it, to go to Knoxville for the fire department. Jason is going to be a very huge asset to that department. He has more certifications, more training, more knowledge than the Knoxville Fire Department will probably ever ask of him. He has his Bachelor's of Science degree in fire science. He's Officer 2. He's just, there's more and more things that I could say about Jason. What I want to say is I'm proud of him.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move to it's actually item C under new business, the consideration of the sale of the road grader, since we've got Ben here.
Well, to interject, we recently, in the new budget, approved buying a new backhoe. And one of the things that we factored in to the cost of that backhoe was selling the road grader, because we've used it like one time in 5 years. And so Ben had it appraised. He had them come in and look at it, and they appraised it at $22,500. And the county has asked that, I thought there would be somebody here tonight from the county, but the county has asked to buy that for that amount. And we can sell between agencies without having to go through any kind of a bidding process. We've done it before. We've sold, we've bought, and it's a common practice to do that. We want to be good neighbors, but ultimately it's your decision if you want to accept that offer.
I make a motion, Connie, that we
Okay.
accept that offer.
We have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposes no. I hear none.
Thank you.
you. Okay, next, Ben, is the paving bids. That's item A under 10.
We only received one bid, so we will pay.
Is that okay with you?
Yes. If you'll notice, it has went down some from last year because the truck price dropped. So they have dropped the price on that.
Okay.
This time last year, did we only have one bidder?
Yes.
Is that any particular reason? Somebody like a Blaylock don't want to work over here, or it's not fiscally a good move for them to come over here? Blaylock owns, sorry. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Right. And if anybody else comes in, they have to buy their asphalt from them because of the distance to get here and it has been the right temperature when it's made. So that's a draw that anybody else did.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the bid for paving?
I make a motion to approve it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposes no. I hear none. Okay, on the salt, Ben?
We had two bids this year. Cargill bid at $86.52 per ton, and Northbrook at $89.17. And I recommend the lowest bid, Cargill, at $86.52. Because there's no difference in the salt.
Is your services pretty good on both of them?
Yeah,
Being,
we have so far.
Okay, that's what you need to put, okay.
Right.
If you're satisfied with it, go ahead if you like.
Where's Cargill out of?
I believe it comes from Knoxville. I'm pretty sure that they are out of Knoxville.
Do we have a motion?
Is that the same amount that we paid for the salt earlier? Didn't we buy 11, how many ton was it? What did we pay for that? Do you remember?
It's cheaper. It's like $94 a ton.
Okay,
That's what I'm thinking.
all right.
It was in the 90 range.
Do we have a motion to approve the bid?
I'll make a motion to approve the bid.
Second,
Cargill.
Cargill.
Yeah, okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Communication from City Administrator James Finch.
The first item on my agenda, Mayor, is to point out, and I think everyone's aware because about everybody that we've talked to about the governor's conference has pointed this out. But in October, the governor's conference is going to conflict with the city council meeting. And so you've got plenty of time. You do not have to make a decision tonight, but just wanted to make you aware. If you want to make a decision tonight, that's fine, to give everybody plenty of warning or notification. And but we will need to reset the October council meeting because we will all be in Nashville for the governor's conference. And so, like I say, you could look at that tonight, Mayor, or you can announce that at the next meeting, whatever's your pleasure. But I just wanted to point that out, and like I say, I think everybody was aware of it because I think pretty much everybody, you guys, when you called Regina and told her and confirmed that you were going, I think about everybody pointed out that that was a conflict. But we were aware of that, but there just wasn't anything we could do till we got into this setting.
Okay. I think it would be enough time to wait till the September meeting, and that everybody's schedule would be closer to
Clearer, yes, sir.
what October's going to bring, and kind of be planning on something in October for the 6th or the 20th or something of that nature, and then we'll officially set it in September.
Yes, sir, and this just gives, like I say, gives everybody a heads up to to try to not to schedule anything,
Right.
because they're aware that we're going to have to move that. But I just
I think
want
we definitely need to have it on a Tuesday, either the 6th or the 20th, and we could make that solid at the September meeting.
yes, sir.
You guys okay with that?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The second thing tonight, I wanted to introduce Gary Carver. He started last Monday as the city planner. Of course, that is Walter Cole's old position. It had been empty for around 5 years since Walter had left. And so didn't have as many people apply for it as I thought we would. I was a little surprised at the number of applications, but I think we got the right guy. I think he's highly qualified. We've already talked about a lot of projects that he's going to work on. He's going to work with the grants. He's going to work with Mark, working on the planning aspects and the codes aspects. He's learning, he's getting cross-trained with Mark. One of the issues we've had since I've been down here is we only had Mark that could perform certain duties. And so, Mark's been with us a long time. He gets a lot of vacation, so he's gone a lot, deservedly. And yet, when people would come in needing a permit or having things that need to be addressed, we'd have to tell them, you're going to have to come back next week when Mark comes back. And a lot of times people really didn't appreciate that, and I don't blame them. We should be prepared to provide a service when people come down to get it. And so this is going to alleviate that, and that was a big problem that we've been having, and that's going to fix that. He's going to work with the grants. We're going to work on downtown revitalization. We've got a lot of projects we're looking at and talking about, and like I say, I think he's going to be a big asset. One thing that I've already got him working on that Mr. Fancher had brought up at a previous meeting, of course, we already have he had talked about a Facebook page. We've had a Facebook page for several years. Gary's going to assist with that, and he's also going to start up a Twitter account and do that and be in charge of that. And so we're getting him on the ground running as much as we can, but it's a lot of information to assimilate. He's been spending most of his time right now just, reading up on the ordinances and getting acclimated to what all our laws and procedures and stuff is. But wanted to introduce him and welcome him, and like I say, I think he's going to be a big asset to y'all.
Stand up over there.
James, can I?
Mike, you coached him, didn't you?
Yes, sir. He's a good
Did he
boy.
do what you told him?
He's a good boy. You've been tested too, boy.
Yes, sir.
Well, some more, Gary.
James, is he going to replace, I know we've had a grants writer position, here in the city that's been actually, didn't write grants, it did work for the partnership.
Yeah, we've
Is this
basically
gentleman
not
gonna
had-
plays that, or we
Yes.
phasing that job out?
Well, that, we've basically not had anyone for several years that
Right.
actually filled that role. He is going to be, yes, he's going to be doing that. We've got him enrolled in a school in October already on grant writing. So,
Okay.
yes, sir.
So we're not gonna fill the grant writing position?
Well, it didn't exist. I mean, it really hadn't been one in several years.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
You're talking about Sherry,
Yes.
Sherry's position?
Yes,
Well, she's retiring, but, James, correct me if I'm wrong, but once she is gone, we still have to make a maintenance of effort for X amount of dollars.
Yes, sir.
To support the partnership, EDC and so forth.
Yes, sir. It would
We
be
could
my
do that with money, though, rather than individual.
Yes.
couldn't we?
Correct.
I think
Yeah,
that'd be
instead
a
of in
better-
kind.
Yes, sir, and that would be my recommendation. I've consulted with Sherry, and it would be my recommendation when the time comes that we not fill that position, that we just make our monetary amount donation that we have to. And she's talked to Tina about how that formula works and how that, how we have to go about to meet that obligation. But yes, sir, that would be my recommendation, that we don't fill that position.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Tina. That's all I've got. Thank you.
I just have one brief thing. We did get our letter of approval on our budget for this fiscal year back from the comptroller's office, so we're officially good to go. That's it.
Thanks, Tina. Thanks, James. Item 7, Tanner Preservation Alliance report. Anyone here?
I will, on their behalf, I'll say this. I spoke with Trey Roland Dykes III today at Kiwanis. He said the picnic went very well, and he said that the fundraiser, the fish fry fundraiser up at the Tanner Building went better than expected. So he said he was tired and he was glad it was all behind him, but he said that he felt like it was a very successful week for him.
And I did hook him up with a young guy that had called me that works at this company somewhere. I don't know where he works, but he was wanting to make a $1,000 donation from his company to the Tanner situation over there on their electrical.
James, we're still working on the Williams Family Grant that's issued by Schenectady. They thought we were a little high coming in the first time, so we're trying to redo that and see what area they want us in, and then redo it, resubmit it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, move on to new business item A. Due to time constraints, do y'all want to discuss that tonight? I mean, you've had it to...
We have the old business.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Yep, sorry, Terry. Under old business, the consideration of the second reading that we had the public hearing on, that's ordinance 2015-08, amending the zoning regulations. This is the second reading. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And Mayor, before we vote on that, let me read the caption of the ordinance into the record. It's ordinance number 2015-08, an ordinance to amend the zoning regulations of the city of Newport and to amend the permitted minimum height of high-rise signs in the C-3 Interstate Highway Commercial District.
Okay, thank you, Terry. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Yes. Opposed is no. I hear none. Now back to item A under new business.
Mayor, I don't mean to interrupt, but just on that is not ready to be voted on. What we wanted to do tonight was just to make sure that you all had all the input into it that you wanted, so we could finalize something for the September meeting. We just want to give everybody one more opportunity to have input before we put the final document together to be voted on at the next meeting.
Okay.
So we don't have anything to vote on tonight. We just wanted to give you all one more opportunity to call in and talk to us about it. If you see something you want changed or added or took away or whatever, just
Okay.
get everybody up to speed on it.
That's basically the altered Memphis
Yes, sir.
panhandling rules, right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Anything else on that? Item B is consideration of lease for police units.
Mayor, on that, that's just, every 3 years or so, we have to cycle in a new fleet of vehicles for patrol. At the end of the lease, we own them, and, so we keep the best ones for spares and get rid of the oldest that we've had 4 spares. It's just a process that we've been doing for many years on a cycle, and it's just time for that cycle to come around once again. One thing, and of course, the Chief Schultz can give you more information if you need it. He's more schooled on it than I am, because he and Steve have negotiated all this. But one thing that we are doing this year a little different is they are going to come partially equipped. And so in the past, we've bought one vehicle here and there that way, but this time we're going to try something a little different, in that instead of us going out and buying the equipment and then having that installed, the guy that does the install now, that we've been using for many years, due to the success of his endeavors, he's really stays booked up. And so we're going to try this. It kind of pans out the same as it does to buy the equipment and have it installed, so it's a time-saving thing more than a money-saving thing, because you kind of just break even on it. But that is the only difference in this than what we've done in the past.
Chief, you have any comment?
If I could, Mayor, I just will let y'all know that we are going to transition to an all-wheel drive Ford Explorer vehicle. For a year, I've been here 28 years, James been here longer than that. Mr. Hansel worked with us. We've always tried to help transport those people that need to be in the wintertime, especially into those locations, especially emergency services. And it's always been a hassle trying to change tires, have 2 cars with snow tires. And this way we're going to have all-wheel drive vehicles at all times, that we'll be able to have our fleet ready. And when we have flooding, we've not got a low-profile car. And if you've not ridden in one of those Dodges, they drag the ground if you run over a cigarette butt. But it'll give us a higher profile, more durable vehicle. Not to disparage any motor company, we haven't had success with the Dodge Charger 6-cylinder car. Our fleet has sort of let us down as far as endurance. It's not very strong, and we look forward to moving forward to that. And without tipping our hand, I will let you know that we're going to roll out a new look. The policeman had the opportunity to design and vote on what we're going to present for a police car, and I think y'all will be very proud of what we roll out and represent the city of Newport with.
It has become the most popular
by far, the Ford
I
Explorer is.
I think the Highway Patrol last year or this year bought 150, and the Sheriff's Department's had excellent service with them.
We've surveyed them. First couple of years, it's like anything, even with the Dodge Charger, you work out the bugs, and they've got those things ready to go. And the way they roll out now to us, they're everything but our radar units, our radios, and our video cameras in them. And we've done talk to the people that are doing the post-purchase installs, and we've got a deal worked out with them to go ahead and get that done at the same time. So we're kind of ahead of the ball this time.
Maurice, is this going to get you closer to every policeman having a vehicle, or how far away are you? How many more vehicles do you need?
It's phase 1. I will tell you that. James and I have had some discussions, and we're looking forward to maybe at some opportunity being able to have a take-home vehicle. This would be phase 1. This gets us in good shape all the way down through the detective division. Actually gives us a real good, durable car that we can use for a unmarked car. I know that's not very popular sometimes, but there's always great use for those. Our unmarked car is about as old as I am, and we got a 1998 98 Ford truck that we're still making do with our fleet. So this is phase 1 of what we hope will transition in the future, getting a better, more durable vehicle that will last and can be transitioned down through the ranks as we bring in new vehicles. Yes, sir.
You don't know how many vehicles do you need to be where you'll have, do you know that?
I don't know that number right off. Of course, we have the Dare vehicle, and then, of course, the detective vehicles. We have 5 men per shift on the patrol. That's 20 vehicles, so it'll take it's not an overnight process, but I do believe this is step 1 in that transition phase.
You're still around 12 to 14 vehicles short.
Okay.
You're satisfied though with what's going on, the way you done it?
By far the least, I've supported that since I've been chief for over 11 years now. You go buy a car, you buy a car. You make a lease, you buy 3 cars. And you get those 3 cars in your fleet, and you're not using a car with 85 to 105,000 miles on it that's already basically lived its life, and sending our guys out here to work emergency calls and stuff with. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
Yes.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Item D, consideration of resolution 2015-12, authorizing the city of Newport to join the HGAC buy program.
Mayor Tina's going to address that with y'all.
This is HGAC is a company that offers nationwide contracts. All we're doing with this is just voting to say, yes, it's okay to join the group. That allows us to look at what equipment they have for sale under their contract prices. You know, and with this, you can buy equipment without having to go through the bid process. It doesn't prevent you from it, but it just allows you to take advantage if there are any deals out there for equipment that we need. So it's just another source.
It just gives you an option. It doesn't lock you into anything.
No.
It's just another option that's out there.
And it
But
costs
still,
nothing.
anything over 5,000 would have to come in, right? Would have,
Well, that's what.
or what's the deal there?
The nation, anything over 5,000 is the city policy that we do a purchasing
Right,
or a bid for.
right.
This is statewide, and this one is actually nationwide, but the state of Tennessee allows for both nationwide and statewide contracts if they are through a governmental unit and they've been properly bid out under their own policies. Basically, we can piggyback without having to go through our bidding process. So it allows you to not have to bid. It doesn't prevent you, however.
Well, but would that still have to come to the council before
Not
say you
if it's
bought
in-
something $20,000?
Not if
Would
it's
it
in
have
the
to come to
budget.
council?
It would not
And you
have
bought-
to if it's in the budget.
Pardon?
If it's in the if it's budgeted, it would not have to come to you all unless you all wanted to. I mean, that would be up to you. Like with the state bid, the state bids about any piece of equipment that the state utilizes at any level, they bid it out. Sometimes yearly, every 2 years, every 3. And so we can piggyback on any state bid. We, as a government entity, we have the ability to do that, and that way we don't have to put out for bids. It eliminates that process because it's time consuming. It allows you to expedite the process. If you're in a bind and you need a piece of equipment, you can buy it off the state bid and you can get it immediately. This is just another arm of that.
I was just wondering at what level, so if it was in the budget, then it wouldn't have to come to the council for approval. Is that correct?
It would not have to.
And there's
Legally, it would not have to.
There's no
It would be-
code?
yeah.
There's no code that says it has to come to the council?
Not if you piggyback off these other bids, it does not have to. But now you all can, if you all choose for it to, absolutely, it can. But it eliminates the bidding process because.
I'm agreeable with that, but I think there should be some checks and balances on items over $5,000.
Now that is a policy that you all could set.
They do this to school equipment a lot of times too, it's the same. They would get stuff a lot cheaper.
Right.
That's the advantage of this type program, is because they have greater buying power, typically they can drive down prices.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the state bid. You can rarely find something cheaper than what the state bid is. And we have utilized the state bid many times.
Yeah, I think the bidding's great. I just think there should be some level set on.
Well, that's up to you all.
I just don't think y'all let us, and I wouldn't want you to, let us get by. We would all be informed of what would be spent, before we spend it. That's like what he's saying, that would be, there'd be checks and balances on, I like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we don't make that many that large of purchases, Well,
But if there is, everybody be contacted to the mayor and all that.
But it just gives us the ability to tap into that resources. All that we're asking for is the ability to be able to look at their numbers and see if we'll be a member of it where we could utilize it if we choose to.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed is no. I hear none. Item E is at the last meeting, y'all had me to get with Terry and James and work up a contract. Basically, we took the old contract that Scott Collins was under for the years that he was here. Basically, there's just a few little things in it different. Scott was going to make nearly $79,000 a year. We've set James's salary in this contract at $77,000. Scott had the option of a monthly stipend for travel expenses or a vehicle. He chose the monthly stipend. James has chose to have a city vehicle. And one thing quite a bit different than Scott's contract was that I don't think we'll ever have to buy James out. It's a whole different situation. But the buyout of his contract would be progressively less each year of the contract. So, but that's basically the major parts in the contract that y'all need to be aware of.
There's just one question I have, and I know he was given tenure back for the interim time, 2 years and 3 months. Did he also receive tenure for 2 years and 3 months at as a police, on your police tenure?
There's no difference. It's his tenure as a city employee. It's the same either way.
Okay.
Yeah. All I asked for was that I maintain my all accrued seniority benefits. That was all I asked for.
All right.
Yeah,
it's
this
the
is
same
not a
either way.
tenured position.
No. Sadly, it's not.
Yeah. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the contract as presented?
I make a motion. Okay, I second it.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Mayor, who was the first?
Bobby, then Mike. Roll call, please.
Alderman Jeff Fancher.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Roger Gribble.
No.
Alderman Mike Hansel.
Yes.
Alderman Bobby Knight.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Mike Profit.
Yes.
Thank you. Item F is discussion of the traffic light study at Carson Springs 2570. Roger?
Yes. I have Mr. Loris Ellison. She's not going to speak, but I would like to introduce her. Ms. Ellison, could you stand up? Ms. Ellison walked Carson Springs Road up and down and collected 380 signatures to put a light at Highway 2570 in Carson Springs. I talked with James, and, you know, he told me that the state had been planning that, but, you know, plans are good, but they're not anything until they put the money behind them. I mean, I think about the highway that comes out of Greenville to go to Sevierville, 231, used to be the old 411. My dad said when he was 70, son, I'll never see that road built. And he never lived to see it built or even started. So I just think that as busy as that's become, the Carson Springs Road, anyone that has a private event with more than 100 people, the only place they can have it is at Carson Springs Convention Center. I mean, you could have it at the Fox and the Hound, but that's real close quarters. And I just think we owe it to our citizens, particularly that have taken the time to do these. Anyone's welcome to look at the 380 signatures on this. There are people that either live on Carson Springs or they travel that road. Plus, Connie, you come out of there every day in a bus, and all the other buses.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, when you used to drive, you came out there for a lot of years.
I did.
And there's a lot of buses come out of there, and a lot of parents carrying students that come out of there. Now, I know that they say they're going to cut that into what, Pioneer Road, James, I can't remember how they planned
Mariner
it.
Drive. They're gonna reroute Carson Springs Road to come out above the Exxon and intersect with Mariner, and there's a red light proposal there, and all of this is under the engineering phase.
Yeah.
Where they're gonna take the left exit off of East 40,
Yeah,
and they're gonna extend the westbound exit to come out further up on 2570 so they can have a turn lane at the red light to turn into timeout and so forth there.
yeah. But you guys, how many years have they been saying they're gonna do away with that left turn? It's the only left turn off of 40 in the state of Tennessee. And I know I've heard that for the last 20 years since I've been back, and I'm sure it was before that. But all I'm asking is that we send this petition on behalf of Miss Ellison and the citizens up there that travel that road on a daily basis, or the people that go up to the Camp Carson, or people that go to Edgemont and come out of that every day, just to show, one, the council's support for that red light. I don't mind matter where it's at, whether it comes on either side of the Exxon or goes into the other road. But I do think that the head of the Department of Transportation and the governor should be aware of our concern about that exit. It's 2 lanes at least you have to cross. That's a long ways in a bus, and it's a long ways in a car, and it's a long ways in a car at night when the way cars come roaring down through there. And I'm sure the sheriff, I'm sorry, Maurice, didn't mean to offend you there. I'm sure the chief of police can adhere to that, but I would like for approval from the board.
I can take care of that.
Okay, all right.
I'll have to contact Nathan Vader. I've already had them to do 2 or 3 traffic studies there over the year.
Yeah.
And they refused to put one. But I will see that Nathan Vader, because he's over the red lights for the state, and I'll be glad to present that again.
Okay.
And then, in the meantime, I will get a timeline on the rerouting of Carson Springs Road as well.
Okay,
And
well-
the changing of the exit.
Okay, if we could respond to Miss Dolores Ellison in that, then I'll pass this signature
yeah, I'll be
down to you
glad
for
to-
action. And you'll take the action
Yeah,
necessarily with the state.
I requested another one at the Pizza Hut, and that's been months and months ago.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they've done the study. I haven't got a copy of their study on it again, but that would be 4 or 5 times on that particular study. But I will be glad
This
to
one is
pursue
real,
this
it's
again.
urgent, I think, because of the school and because of the location of the convention
take care
center
of
up there.
I'll-
Okay. And then I'll take care of the political side. I'll make sure
Okay.
the other guys get it.
Okay. All right. Before we entertain comments from citizens, Oh, I checked off the wrong one. Well, I'm glad I got you here with me. The discussion of the Newport Recycling Program. Oliver, thank you. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, it's okay. I'll be brief because of Coach McClure's funeral, but I want to be factual and quick as I can. I've spoken with 11 mayors, representatives from local governments from in our East Tennessee area. I've always had, I don't know why it stuck in my craw, the first time I saw this on the budget. Our recycling program has expenses of $286,000 budgeted and a return on the investment, for lack of better terms, of $24,000 budgeted. That number's always stuck in my mind of what the heck's going on. I will say, after talking to all these mayors and people from other cities, that the recycling program for cities and counties is nothing but a losing project as far as money. It's not a money-making project. But I can honestly say, with the people I talked to, they were dismayed and bumfuzzled at the amount of discrepancy of income, revenue, versus the amount of money that we were spending on the project, on the recycling project. People I've talked to in the recycling projects are Knoxville, Knox County, Morristown, Hamlin County, Rogersville, Hawkins County, Sevierville, Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Sevier County, and Greenville was the sole representative where they did recycling on their own. And to me, and Tazewell and Claiborne County, and to me, there's a common denominator there, that the county and the city work together on this. I don't understand why the city and county can't work together on this and I know Mr. Baradall's, I've had some semi-discussions with him, that there is the desire for the county to get involved with our recycling project and get involved or take it over, whatever the case may be. Only thing I'm doing today is, City of Gatlinburg and Sevier County, they recycle 70% of their waste into usable products. And I noticed on the Newport website, it talks about the items that they do take: paper, phone books, cardboard, plastic, and aluminum cans. And I look on these other cities and counties, there's probably about 15 things they take. Now, I'm new to this thing, but I'm asking permission to do some research to see how we can help the bottom line just a little bit. And also in that request is a chance to talk to a local company here that the name's irrelevant right now because I don't want to put them on the spot, who has opened considerations to sponsor our recycling program. Not pay for it, but put a small dent into the recycling project because they are a huge recycler in the areas as well. So I was seeking permission from you guys to do some more research on this because I think the law says, according to what I talked to James, the law says we have to try to recycle 25% of our waste. Well, I think we must be doing that because I hadn't heard any violations. So what's Sevierville got on us that in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge? I know they got money, but my point is that. And the mayor of Gatlinburg was, like I said, he looked me in the face and said, I don't see how in the world you all even want to recycle because if it's cost you that much. I'm seeking permission from you guys to do some more research. And
I don't think you need our permission.
No, work with Mr. Fincham, sit down.
Does the county, Cocke County recycle?
They have, they don't have like convenience, they have the convenience centers. And that's like the town of Greenville, they don't do pickup. Rogersville doesn't do pickup. We do pickup. I mean, I'm just wanting to do some due diligence to see if it makes sense for us to quit picking up. I'm not trying to put anybody out of a job or anything like that. Seems like all these other cities on their website show all the pictures of where they're and it seemed like every one of them worked with Goodwill as well. And I want to sit down with Goodwill to see what, I know there was a couple of cities that their revenue from recycling went to fund Goodwill. But, Goodwill's got their name on some of the recycling projects across some East Tennessee counties and cities. I just want to do something, but I just don't want to go against the...
We're not going against it. Take care of business. Do what you need to do. Go for it.
I don't know what the end result is, but I am kind of want to dig into this just a little bit more and see. For instance, car batteries, James. We haven't recycled car batteries. I know over at Marstown, they line up to take car batteries. I mean, is it just because we don't want to handle car batteries? Is there a liability to it? I mean, maybe it's not a conversation for you, but maybe to Mr. Cogdill. But do you know anything about why we have limited products that we handle on a recycling project?
I know that what I've been told in the conversations I've had with Dean, it's what we can find a market for. And it's about, and a lot of it comes down to transportation. Like if the market is 50 miles away, then you end up, again, like you say, you're going deeper into that money pit.
Right.
And most of these don't come pick stuff up. Most of them want you to deliver it and that kind of thing. The stuff we've got now, we deliver for the most part. And so in the conversations Dean and I've had, because I've broached some of these same subjects with him, and it comes down to having a market for it, just like glass. For many years, we took glass, and now, according to him, there is no market for glass. So we do not currently take glass.
The only reason I've got to leave, I've got to speak over here at the funeral.
And there's different kinds of glass. There's clear glass, there's ground glass, there's green glass. So you have to have a market for all that. And so, right now, according to Dean, there is no market for glass. So
Well, 9 of these 11, I did research, they do all do glass, mixed plastics, cardboard, electronics, used oil, tires, compost.
Tires you get into, tires is another thing that you get, that can get into where it's costing you.
That's what
Yeah, because you can't, tires cannot just be disposed of. I mean, the same way in the batteries and electronics. You're having to meet a lot of guidelines, you're taking on a lot of time, especially in the electronics. Now, what we do have here, because my wife and I, just a while back, took advantage of this, through Keep Cotton County Beautiful, and David, he's still here, he can probably tell you more about it. But we do, every year at multiple times, we have a chance for people to bring in electronics, to bring in batteries of any kind, and that is done on a periodic basis, not something you can do all the time. And they have a truck that they immediately put that stuff in and haul it off, and we're not having to store it, because especially with batteries, you get, in some electronics, there are things that can leak out of those, leach into the ground, and you have to be really careful about where you store that kind of stuff. And so,
Also, with that said, I've got brochures from every one of the people I've talked to. You can click on the City of Newport website, and this is the only thing you get, 4 lines about our recycling program. Well, it does say click on down here and you'll learn more. Can we get a little bit more marketable, just telling the people what we do in our recycling program? I mean, Sevierville's got a 7-color, 2-fold. Of course, Sevierville's got, and Sevier County's got a bunch of money as well. But, to me, we've got this on our website, 3 lines. Hey, we do recycle, here's the hours, and I want to be a little bit more.
we've been working on trying to improve, to echo what you're saying, in the beginning, the website basically had nothing on it about anything. And so we are in the process of trying to get a lot of information online. And we have added a lot of stuff online that was not there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that is, yes, that's something that I think that would probably need to be addressed. But it's like a lot of things. We're trying to do that across the board. We're trying to get everything on the website that we can that people might need information on, forms that they might need to fill out if they need something. We're trying to get all that stuff online to expedite the process and inform the citizens. But that's, but thank you for pointing that out. But there are a lot, there are a lot more things we want to address. We've addressed several already, and it's just an ongoing process. Also,
to close, I think our exit, I'm still amazed at the number of cars are getting off at the 435 where Weigels is at. I heard Weigels is pumping more gas there than any place in the southeast right now. Yeah. And I sit there sometimes, probably legally parked, on the highway watching people come in and out. I still feel that exit's our ace in the hole. Are you going to get totally rich off of it? But to me, it's one of the most consumer unfriendly exits that we have. I mean, you don't know, it's like I know this is the state, and when somebody's knocked over the Interstate 40 westbound sign, it's been down for 3 weeks now. But my point is also, I watched the other day, City of Newport, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble, I watched the guy mow 7 strips up and down where it says, "Welcome to the City of Newport." And, the flowers that were planted there, or that I planted, by the way, at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning because I couldn't sleep the night before. I went to Lowe's and bought flowers I was going to plant at the house. I ended up planting them at the City of Newport sign. Call me crazy. But now, they're covered up with weeds. I just think that we need to make that, not putting green clean, but I just think that needs to be a point of emphasis with our mowing crews. And coupled with that, welcome to the Newport signs. Unless you know you're in Newport, you might think you're in NPR because all the letters are,
I'm working on that.
We've already, the mayor and I have already talked about that, and we're already working on that.
Okay, thank you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I've got one thing I want to tack on to his. I've had a number of complaints out at the other exit that where we, I guess we ran out the middle of the highway on the, when we were doing property, when we were taking property into the city. And now, I guess the question has become, since we run out the middle of that highway, are we responsible for keeping the grass mowed on those banks? Because I've had two different...
No, we are not responsible for it. It's still the state's responsibility to mow. We have a highway maintenance contract with the state to where we keep the holes patched and we clean the streets and we do those kinds of things, but we have no obligation to do any mowing on any state right-of-way. But we do mowing on the state right-of-way just for the exact reason that Mr. Fancher said, to keep it aesthetically pleasing, because we want it to look good. We do a lot of mowing in the medians and on the state right-of-ways, and it's strictly so it'll look good. We have no obligation to do it. We get no money for doing it from them. It's just something that we take upon ourselves and do.
Well, we ought to talk to the state about that, or we ought to go out there and take a look at that one, James. It definitely needs some maintenance, and I think that's going to become a big off-ramp too, when you can shoot straight into Sevierville and Pigeon Forge from right there. But I mean, that grass out there is waist high.
Well, if you go down the ramps up on at the 435, it's the same way. We don't mow down the ramps. We only mow in the medians up on the highway. And so, we'll take a look at where you're talking about. But if you start, I mean, that's
is that a regional decision by the Department of
the state's policy, unless they have changed it, is they mow 4 times per year. And that's up and down all their properties.
And that's contracted?
Yes, sir. But they don't do it themselves. They bid that out for 2- and 3-year contracts, and it's for 4 mowings per year.
I don't believe that. There's no way in the world that grass could have grown that high in 3 months. I don't believe.
But now I'm not saying they meet the obligation. I'm just saying that that's what they bid out in there when they bid that out. They bid out 4 mowings per year.
David, you had a comment?
They have met the obligation because I count it. When I know if I count it for the season, because they're supposed to pick up the litter prior to mowing, so I kind of set the police it myself, and then if they don't, I turn it into DDOT.
Okay.
I should do that. Can I say one?
Hold on one second. Chief, pulling out of the Weigels, is that 1 lane taking a left, straight, or right, or is that 2 lanes?
It's actually 1 lane the way it's set up.
Is there room enough to, or is that, I know that's a state thing probably, but I just see so much backing up, people taking left or wanting to take a right, and that's a lot of traffic.
Well, and again, Mr. Griffin said, I've been hearing this for a long time, but there's supposed to be a red light going in with the 40 exit ramp here. So you can come across, going west, cross and go toward Walmart or in the south direction toward Gatlinburg. All of those things are like feed off each other. If that light is in place, it changes the traffic flow coming in there, makes traffic flow out easier. That is activated by a ground loop. I even check it, I can make it activate. That's one of the few that my motorcycle will activate. It's just the influx of traffic. I mean, when you go up there and you see every pump of white is full, every parking place full, people waiting to get in, and then you go over to the movie theaters showing a good movie, it's full, and then the Sagebrush is full, Motel 6 is filling up. It's just an influx of traffic on the little 2-lane city street.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of things we've discussed here today, but I saw the rafting figures from the paper for May and June, 70,000 plus people. If we could get half of that number to have some reason to come to Newport, that's what we need to be focusing on.
Jeff, are you through with the reason?
Yes, sir.
Go for it, son. Okay, one announcement. August the 16th at 3 o'clock is the I guess Mayor Danny Wester Day, where we'll be at dedicating the tree park in his memory. Everyone's invited to attend that, and 3 o'clock, Sunday, August the 16th. And we are fortunate to have in our midst tonight the Volunteer of the Year from the Tennessee Department of Transportation, Keep Tennessee Beautiful. That's not just local. He is the state Volunteer of the Year. You want to talk anymore?
I did want, can I make some quick points on this?
Sure.
And I'll be really fast. First of all, batteries are collected countywide in City 2, but they're collected through point of sale in businesses. Businesses take the batteries in as a core charge. There is no problem with batteries being recycled because there's a lot of money, a lot of value in batteries, so people grab them up as quick as they can. The other thing is, recycling is not meant, I just want to make sure everybody understands this, recycling is not meant to be a money maker, it's meant to be a waste reduction issue. It's a waste reduction mechanism to, and the state really was favorably on that. What they're fixing to do, and we just talked to TDOT and TDEC about recycling, what we're looking to do here in our county is we're going to look a whole different kind of way of recycling. We're hoping, but it's looking at, we're looking at 6 months to a year down the road. It's called single stream. Everything's thrown in one container and it's shipped, and we can recycle a whole lot more items. You can recycle glass, metal, tin cans, that sort of thing, stuff we're not doing now. The other thing is, the last report we got on recycling, of all the stuff we did, we went well over 56% in this county for recycling. But what you collect around curbside recycling, what the trailer will bring it from the county, 2%. Out of 100%. And that's bottles, your aluminum cans, that stuff, sort of stuff. 2% is all we got. But that's what the state is going to start emphasizing, is that 2%. So we've got to work on that. I know it's a money loser, but there's maybe some ways we can cut costs by keeping it at the same time. That's all I'm saying.
This concludes our business. Any citizens' comment?
I'd like to say, I think you two young folks here, you're representing who tonight?
And we're the leadership, or Dr. Blazer's leadership class.
Dr. Blazer's Clay Blazer's leadership class. I think two of your comrades were coming in late and they were embarrassed and they turned and left. So I appreciate those young.
Absolutely. Let's give them a hand for being the leaders. We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Yes, second.
All those in favor say yes. Yes. Any opposed? Amen. They want me to do that.